Hi, and thank you for joining us in another segment of Veterans Serving Veterans with New England Veterans Liberty House. Before I introduce my guest, not only is he a guest, but a very, very long time friend of mine, and I think I known him since I could walk, I believe. I want to send out a special shout out to the Columbia Gas family here in the city of Lawrence, led by Andrea and Dana. They recently volunteered themselves and about 9 other employees to come into our food pantry and our clothing and hygiene distribution point, and went there for a whole day, well, pretty much about 5-6 hours. They just went through the entire food pantry and organized everything in a manner that is impeccable. I mean, the job that they did speaks volumes of the kind of people that they are. So I just wanted to take this. I wish I could remember each and every one of your names, and my apologies, I just got hit in the head way too many times. But I want to thank you, Andrea, for taking the initiative, and Dana and the Columbia Gas family, really, to going out there on your own time and helping us with this great cause. So thank you very much. With that said, I'm going to introduce you to my guest, Mr. Nuccio DeMarca.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. Thank you for
having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I'm going to start real quick before I get into it. How long has it been since I've known you? Really, let's just say. Ever since I'm 47. Maybe I shouldn't say that too loud.
The late 70s,
yeah,
something like that.
I mean, I was maybe
you were a baby. You were living on Havel Street.
Yeah, 8-9 years old. And
your dad used to work for Clemente
Abascal.
Yeah.
So that's how long I go.
And your mom was one of my students.
And she was. She was. And always speaks very highly of you. And every time she sees you on TV or paper, she's always elated to see that you're doing so well. And I mean, like, there's no mistake of what you've done for the community and what you continue to do for your community. And my mom really, really loves you very much. And again, every time she sees you, she's always ecstatic.
One of the hardest workers in a political campaign. She was unbelievable.
She is when she was into it.
And Marta,
your
cousin.
Yeah, she was.
Marta Gonzalez.
So it's good to see you again. And the reason we're here today to let you viewers and you veterans out there know, because Mr. DeMarca called, reached out. Actually, no, correction. Let me just go back a little bit. We seen each other at the breakfast. At the mayor's breakfast for the
about
annual.
A week or so ago.
Yeah, the annual Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce breakfast, and we ran into each other there. And then he came out to our humble office, seeing our operation.
And I was extremely impressed.
Thank you.
You know, that's one of the things that people in the community have to know.
Yeah.
What you're doing, and you know the involvement of the gas company and so forth.
Sure.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
No, it's amazing. I honestly, initially, it's not about in a team.
No.
It's we. I could never have done this by myself. I started. I did put the building blocks together and set the foundation in. But there's been many, many great minds and people that have crossed my door. That's helped me get to this point. So I can't take all the credit myself. It's definitely been a team effort, and collaborate with Jamie's office, the Veteran Service Officer, with the Lawrence Senior Citizen Center, Martha, and I mean Columbia Gas, all the citizens in the city of Lawrence and Methuen that's come out here to support her. It's just great. But we come here to talk a couple things. One is your new endeavor, which is with the Lawrence Training School, and you're, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're the director of education.
Right.
Of education. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second as well, and what your, what your mission is and what your vision is. And then you just handed me one of your books, and I'm so impressed. So as we go, I want you to pick out a few things, and I apologize that I don't know exactly where they're at, but I want to start off talk about your service to this great country of ours, and I want to thank you for paving the way for us. Because we don't thank you. Yeah,
because
you paved the way for us, and that's the way I look at it. Because a lot of the stuff that we do today in the field tactically, it still exists. What you guys did back then, we just tweaked it a little bit. So again, I've always I have a lot of respect and admiration for veterans that came before me, and you're one of them, and you paved the way. So thank you very much. And tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about your military career.
It was from 1965 to 1971. I was in the Yankee Divisional of the National Guard. We were in Fort Dix, as a matter of fact, when the Gulf of Tonkin incident happened, and you know, a lot of the guards were federalized and what have you.
Title.
But our big thing was when 3 years later.
You were in the Yankee division. I'm sorry, to cut you.
Yeah.
You were in the Yankee division, but you Fort Dix. You mentioned Fort Dix, New
That's
Jersey.
where I had my
Fort
boot
Devens is
camp.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my boot camp and then advanced infantry training, and I
Okay.
was in communication, working in climbing foam poles
Yes,
and
yes.
burying wires underground.
And we
and
did
everything
plenty
else.
of that. Yeah, to
NDSB
help.
24, NDSB 84.
I'm not too technical,
Yeah.
the terminology on the communications, but I helped. We buried a lot of wire.
Yeah.
How's that?
And I'll tell you, I remember one incident in particular where we almost got run over by our own tanks because the
really?
F4, the forward observer, had given them the wrong detail.
The
wrong
wrong
information.
coordination. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And I had a bang with my M14 at the time,
Really?
on the side of the tank, because I said, you guys are in the wrong place. You should be ahead of us, not behind us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Close call.
Yeah, it was.
And it's
Especially when
training.
in the middle of the night, and it's pitch
Yeah,
dark.
people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that. The dangers are just not
Friendly
there when
fire
you go.
sometimes.
Yeah, when you go off to combat.
Yeah,
A lot of dangers there exist also while you're training, and a lot of people don't
Exactly.
understand that you could very easily lose your life in a training
What-
exercise.
One of the big changes that has taken place is now that the National Guard is the first they send in,
Yeah.
because they figure they're already trained, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting kids out of 8 weeks of boot camp and just
Well,
send them.
let me tell you that right now.
Except the Marines.
Except the Marines, yeah. The Marines go everywhere.
Except the
yeah.
Marines.
Except the Marines. Well, I'm going to tell you, the National Guard, when I re-enlisted, the Marine Corps wouldn't take me because I was an old salty dog. They wanted young and strong and buff young men. But so I joined the Army National Guard. And I always thought, well, let me join the Guard. It's Homeland Security. I'd be okay. That's what I want. It didn't happen that way, though. I mean, the minute I enlisted, like, you're going over, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. But the National Guard, though, to echo on that, is that the National Guard is deploying a lot these days.
Oh, yeah.
And in many
Yeah.
cases, a lot more than active duty personnel.
Well,
So,
the mindset again
Yeah.
is that the Guard is already trained, and
Correct.
it's more time efficient.
Yep.
It's more cost effective.
it is.
And we've seen the results of it.
I have a friend of mine that I think is going on his 7th deployment.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
why? I mean,
In
I keep
Afghanistan, or
both Iraq
Iraq,
and Afghanistan. I keep trying to slap him silly,
Yeah.
but once you get to an environment and you're used to that environment, and he's been back to back to back to back, and that's all you known for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back here and turn that off. So he keeps taking missions.
Tell me
on,
about it. I
right?
used to get
Yeah.
up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted
Did
to
you?
run out for reveille. My
That's
father
too
said, "Where are you
funny.
going?" Oh, I'm here. I'm home.
Yeah. It's hard.
So I could
It's hard to
imagine
turn it
somebody
off.
was there longer.
Yeah, 4 or 5 tours. So you were at Fort Dix.
Mm-hmm.
You trained in Fort Dix. Once you were done with your advanced warrior training or infantry training,
Yeah.
where would you station that?
Well,
now?
then we were
Did
here.
you stay
We were yeah.
at Fort
because
Dix?
There were not Fort Dix. We came back to the. I signed up in Mattoon, but we ended up in Lynn, on Common Street in Lynn at the Armory.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, and we used to do a lot of training in Curtis Guild.
You're referring to your
Curtis Guild in Wakefield.
weekend drills?
Weekend, and then in the
2-3
summer.
weeks in the
16
summer?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And we'll go to Camp Drum or Fort Drum in New York for that.
Yep, we did that.
We'll go to Curtis Guild. We go to Edwards. at
Camp
the Cape.
Edwards?
Yeah.
Otis and Otis Air,
Yeah.
right next to Otis Air Force Base, actually.
And
Yep.
I remember, for example, when Martin Luther King got killed, we were
Activated?
We were sent to Boston. We were in Roxbury and everything else in the street
Really?
because.
So you were activated, I think it was, if I'm not saying, out of Title 10 orders, maybe, I think it's
I
called.
don't know what they call
Yeah,
them.
don't call it. I don't
all I
recall
know
it, but
is-
you
all
were
I know is-
activated for that.
Yeah, all I know is
Yeah.
I remember I was working out at the Y for a big
How was
weightlifting
that?
competition, and they said, "You're not going to any
Yeah,
competition.
yeah. Suit
Report
up.
to the army. Report
Lace
to
up
the
your
army in
boots.
uniform because we're going to
Lace up
Roxbury."
your boots. Yeah, you're marching on, pal. How was that during that time to be activated in such
Well,
really tough?
It was a precarious thing, and
all right.
I remember, luckily for everybody, James Brown was performing in Boston, And James Brown appealed to the people in Roxbury not to go in the streets and riot
Oh,
and
wow.
everything else. And yeah,
Well,
it
I'm
was,
sure that helped a lot.
Oh, without
I'm
a
sure
doubt.
it's
Without a doubt.
a huge icon. You know
Oh,
that.
yeah, without a doubt.
Wow.
And we were lucky. We were lucky because nothing happened. And
Good. Good. It's always tough to be
Yeah.
activated. I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to be activated and do homeland security against our own people. You know, our own Americans, citizens. You know what I mean? It's tough. I mean, you have to do your
Well,
job.
look what
you
happened
have
at-
orders.
Look
but
what happened at Kent State.
Yeah.
I mean, with the guards, a couple of people got killed and everything, and
Yeah.
you know, we were
Sad
fortunate
spot.
because we had everything under
under
touch.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long did you do?
From 65
to
to
71.
And
Okay.
then I got
Good
an
for you.
honorable discharge.
Good
and,
for you.
To be honest with you, I loved military life so much
I
so
did too.
that my officers talked to me a number of times to go to OCS, Officer Candidate School.
Yeah. While
And I
you
could've
were
go-
in,
Well, I was in, and
And-
I could come out as a lieutenant after 3 months.
second lieutenant. Yeah.
Yeah, but my parents talked me out of it.
Really?
Yeah, and the thing is,
Yeah.
you
They didn't
know,
want your son.
no, they had lost some relatives in the
Sure.
war and everything.
Sure.
You know Peter Messina.
perspective.
Peter from
Messina.
the Italian Kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Peter and I
Yes.
were in the army together. I should have brought a couple of pictures.
Yeah.
We're in the army together. We used to come home weekends, you know, me because I wanted to play soccer on Sunday.
Yeah, you're a
and
big
so-
soccer player.
And I was a platoon guide.
Yeah.
So I had a little more.
Yeah, a little bit
liberty.
more clout.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more clout.
But I loved it.
I did too. I did too. Yeah.
I still got the uniform.
And
I
you
think I
did.
told you that
Yes,
I
you
fit
did.
in it.
Let's not just mention that right now, but you did mention it.
Yeah.
He could. It's just too much because he still can fit in his uniform. God bless him. And mine, I can't get past my knee.
But you know the thing is, JT, and you're doing it, and you're doing a yeoman's job. Okay, I tell you that because I see it, I hear it.
Yeah.
We need to help our veterans.
We
know,
do.
We're fortunate.
We do.
You know, we got all our limbs and everything else.
Yeah, we came back with 10 fingers and 10 toes.
A lot of people have
don't.
all different kinds of problems,
Oh,
and
sure.
they need help. They need help. Now it's our turn to extend our hand and saying, okay, what can we do to help you be the very best you can be?
Exactly. And this is one of the reasons I established New England Veterans Liberty House. It's because, first of all, it's like because I didn't have anything to do. I just think that it was the right thing to do. I
Yeah.
think that, you know, you would get a better response of veterans serving another veteran than you would. And I'm not saying that I'm not taking away from the general public, and I'm not taking away from.
But you have a different perspective.
Exactly. You get it. You speak the same language. You walk the same walk. You talk the same talk, and they're more receptive. Plain and simple.
True.
I know
True.
I was.
True.
Right. And so we can't just depend on our federal government or state government to help our veterans. Though they should have got it back.
We
back
did.
in
We did for a
Vietnam.
long
Yeah,
time, and
but we can't. We you know, I was never the one that liked to sit in the sideline wishing I could do something about it. Let's just do something about it and see
Exactly.
what change can we do. What can we come up that maybe they'll look at us and say, this is working. Maybe let's help them on that. But you're right. It's about helping veterans, serving veterans, and not just with my organization, but VNOC and other organizations around the Merrimack Valley.
the more the merrier, because I mean there are so many that are affected.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm not here to compete with another agency. I figure if you're coming into my backyard and you want to open up another establishment that's going to help veterans, listen, I'll be the first one in your door to help you.
But speaking of backyards, you're the first one and the only one, as far as I know, that has helped veterans with their work around the house and everything else, and
yes,
that is quite
honest,
unique
yeah,
and
we're
it's
doing a lot of that.
remarkable
We're doing
and
a
it's
lot of
great
that. Yeah,
because
it is.
they need that help.
It is.
Yeah.
And with that note, you know, we still need a good qualified tradesman out there. We still have a lot of work to do. Just this past week, I got 3 more requests for wheelchair ramps and
Yes.
widening some doors in homes. So listen, I can't do it myself, and I'm hoping that you all out there, if you have these qualifications and you want to donate some of your time, please give us a call, 978-258-2331, or visit our website and send us an email. Let's go into real quick
Our training
about your
school.
training school. Lawrence Training School, I know it because I've been there a couple times to recertify myself. I'm an asbestos supervisor, and I'm also an asbestos contractor,
Nice,
a lead
yeah.
contractor. I also have the 40-hour hazmat, which is a haz whopper that you guys have here. We have that. I'm also CPR certified. I'm also have a 10-hour OSHA certification, construction certification. I also have a confined space certification. So all these certifications right
You're
now,
very familiar with.
I am, and I've been in this field for about going on maybe 18 years now. Started off as a labor. I mean, worked for a couple years as labor, and then a good friend of mine gave me the opportunity to run as a foreman, run a job. And as I was running it and designing it, and then making sure that we kept our numbers low and our budget in place, I got bit by the bug, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can to familiarize myself with the regulations, because first and foremost, all this
Well,
that
you
you're
gotta know the
offering,
do's and don'ts.
you have to,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think within 2 years after that, I'm from a foreman became a supervisor, then I became a lead supervisor, and then I was a project manager. So this, and here I am now, a business owner of a hazmat company. So there's room for growth in this field if you know how to do it. A lot of people like asbestos, like, oh my God, asbestos is going to kill you. Well, first of all, it has a 35-year latency period, and so by the time I get sick, I'd probably be in a walker anyway.
But I'll tell you,
if you protect yourself,
with
you're
the
all
proper
set.
training, again,
That's what you guys offer.
Yeah.
That's what you guys
Yeah.
offer. And tell us a little bit about the training that you have, if you can. And I don't know about the cost, or I'm not too sure if you know the overall cost for all these.
Well,
if you
what-
don't,
yeah.
no worries. We could get them up there later.
What I would suggest
And-
is for anybody who's interested, and I think a lot of people should be, is come and visit us at 530 Broadway.
Right, because you have a
We're
new
on-
location.
Yeah, we're on the second floor. There's ample parking on the side. It's handicap accessible. We got elevators.
It's a beautiful
and
building,
everything.
and Raphael's done really good
Raphael
stuff.
has done incredible,
he's done.
incredible, and he's eager
Yeah.
to want to service
He
the
is.
veterans.
Yep.
He's very, very eager.
Let me just, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I keep
no,
cutting you. I'm
it's
sorry.
all right.
I have to give credit when credit is due. And Raphael Guzman, he helped me with one of my first veteran cases.
Yeah.
This gentleman, boiler, shot the bed. There was water everywhere, cross-contamination everywhere, asbestos everywhere. I approached a few local municipalities, agencies to get help. I didn't get any help. I went to him. I went to another. The minute I went to Raphael and said, Raphael, I have an 83-year-old Korean War veteran. This is the scenario. I need help. All he said was, "What do you need?"
That's
And
Raphael.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you straight up, I don't sugarcoat it.
Although
That's what he
I'll
said.
tell you, a lot of people know him as Danielito.
Danielito. Yeah, I
And,
don't know
uh,
what name to call you by. So stick to one name, man.
Well, it wasn't because his last name is Guzman. either,
Guzman as well.
because
Yeah.
Your
yeah.
mom's maiden name
My
is
mom's
Guzman.
maiden name is Guzman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, he's a pioneer, and he's done a lot of great things for my veterans. And every time I called for assistance for my veterans, he's never let me down. So
Those are the
yeah,
kind of people you want to work with,
Yeah.
because their heart is in the right place.
It is.
And what you see is what you get. with them.
Exactly. Yeah. And this course that you and again, I am so glad to see you where you're at right now, because I
Thank
think
you.
that the school was already good, but
It's
I think
a-
it's going to be elevated.
It's
to
a
another.
great fit. It's
Yeah.
a great fit because a lot of the things that Raphael is at the mission, and the school has got the mission that's help people be the very best they can be in the field that they choose.
Yeah, in this field, I keep mentioning, and we had a conversation. There's prevailing rate jobs out there that are 64.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had a project at the
65,
VA.
70, 80 grand
Yeah.
a year.
I
or
had
more.
a project in the VA in Bedford. I can't get too much into details, obviously, but that job rate there was $65 an hour. So
I know people with
don't
college
knock,
degrees
don't
don't
knock,
make
yeah,
anywhere
don't
near
knock
it.
the trade. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Don't knock the trade, and these are all very good good class courses. I know you guys moved into a new building because the building I went to when I recertified wasn't that shabby, but I heard the 530 Broadway
it's
Street
incredible.
is a beautiful school now.
He has spent a lot of money and a lot of work
Yeah.
to make it indeed a model place for training and
Yeah.
for schooling.
Comfortable.
Because as you know, oh yeah,
Very comfortable.
As
The
you know,
ambiance. I mean, the environment is very. What I say? Very
amicable,
yeah,
friendly,
it's
like
friendly
yeah,
environment.
yeah.
Very and very
Yeah,
suitable for these courses. A great environment to be. teaching.
And the beauty of it is that if need be, if people feel more comfortable, for example, to have the training in Spanish, that's also
You have that
available.
option. Yeah, you have that option.
And right now, Rafael pointed out to me that a number of people who went through the program, he employed or they've been hired, and they're making a lot of money.
And that's a good thing, and that's what I was
Making
going
a
to
lot
get
of
to,
money.
right? Because we, like for my veterans, for example, when some of them are to have taken this course,
Mm-hmm.
I totally disagree when someone just takes a veteran and just puts them in a certification course just so they can have numbers, right? And that's
I'm
what he does
1000%
differently.
against
Yeah,
it,
that's what he does
absolutely.
differently, right? I'm going to train you.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the money or whatever grant they
you
get,
don't- you don't-
but I'm going to place you.
Yeah, you
Right?
don't want a window dress.
Yeah.
You don't want to just do that. That old saying, it's glitz and glitter, but not
Yeah.
much substance. I'd rather
Exactly.
see a lot of substance,
I
and
agree.
less glitz and glitter.
I agree. And a good thing about him is, again, not only does he have the school, but he also has the positions available. When and again, you can't. I understand you can't hire everybody, obviously, right? But he does hire a percentage of these individuals that
yeah.
certify themselves to that
Well,
course. I know he does because I've worked with a few. So
Well, the thing is, George, that we need to work hand in hand, for example, with the Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
We need to work hand in hand with the Regional Employment Board.
Sure.
We need to work with Social Security. And,
agree.
and if there is competition, so what? Competition is healthy as far as I'm concerned.
That's warranted.
And there's
Yeah.
work for everybody.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
work.
it is- yeah.
If whoever wants work in this field, there's work. If you're not working with all these certifications or even partial of these certifications, then you're not trying hard enough. You're not trying
There you
hard
go.
enough. And again, going back, my veterans. I have a handful of veterans that took all these courses, and there's right now 2 that are working. One that's working full time. One is on and off because he's going to school, which is understandable. But the majority of the veterans that graduated this class, I called Dunleavy and I asked him, I say, hey, I got a veteran. He just got all these certifications. I was just, come on, put him to
He
work.
said, send them over.
Yeah, put him to work, and he's always every time I talk to him, I've done work for him in the past, and my partner has done some work with him in the past, and but every single time I talk to him about one of my veterans needing a job with the certifications, he's just like, listen, you just need to send him over, and we'll put him to work. So I'm glad I'm glad that you teamed up with Rafael.
Well,
because I think
you
you
read-
guys gonna do good things.
Thank you. You read the thesis that I wrote for my master's program
He
in
was hooked after that.
1987. He said to me, what do I need to do to have you come and work with us?
Outstanding.
And
Well,
no problem.
he knows
yeah.
he values good knowledge and good expertise, and you have that. You know
Well,
what I
I'll
mean?
tell you, right now we're
You
also...
were also an educator as well for a very
I
long
was
time.
a registrar at
Yeah.
the Lawrence campus of
Yeah.
Northern Essex for a number of years, and I was the assistant registrar of the whole Northern Essex.
Because I could sit here and talk with you all day, but a half hour comes really fast. So I want to get to some of the stuff here that you're looking forward while you're taking over the rings here. Talk to me about some of the classes here, GED, ESL. Let's start with the GED program.
Okay,
you can-
GED is high school equivalency, general education development.
Yeah.
And it's important because, in the past, even if you wanted to apply for anything, you didn't have to have a high school diploma. Now it's a requirement.
Yeah.
Even for the service. I mean, okay?
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Even
that's
for
right.
the service,
Yeah.
now you got to have a high school diploma.
And is that how much is that for the class, or is that something that's you have a grant available for that, or
in some instances, you can get a grant through the Board of Education
Okay.
or through a big corporation.
Let me ask you a quick question because they're just flashing at me right now. We were just talking about how time flies, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach your book, which is killing me right now. all these classes here, and we were talking about the opportunity of maybe seeing if they could, the veterans specifically, tap it into the GI Bill for any of these courses. You think that's
Well,
gonna?
I look at that as being one of the things not too far in the future, because we're working also to become certified and accredited
Exactly.
with a national
Which-
organization.
I don't see why they
know?
can't tap into the GI
And
Bill.
we have to submit a proposal by June. By doing that, then we're also open to tap into Pell Grants.
Right. Okay.
Okay, right now we have a very, very successful supervisor training program, work supervisor training program, as well as cosmetology and asbestos removal. Those are the big threes right now. But I see that we can have, for example, English in the workplace.
Right. Which
Okay.
is very, very important.
Yeah, because I did that before for the International
to.
Institute, you know, where you teach job-related education and you teach on-the-job training.
Right.
The two things
Sure, they're
combined.
married. Yeah, they're
and
married to each
what
other.
happens is you get a worker that will
Well, you get a better
outproduce-
workforce.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. They will
that just
outproduce
equals-
the other workers.
Sure, sure. All right, let's talk about, before we run out of time here, let's talk about the computer training program.
There's a beautiful computer room, which is not used that much, and right now we're looking to put together a program for computer technology.
Good, which is also good because a lot of the field supervisors, they need to be abreast on, they need to be
You're gonna be
familiarized themselves
computer
with
literate.
computer. Yeah, exactly. Administrative assistance program. Let's go real quick because we're running out of time here.
Administrative assistant program, again, it's someone that works in an office. As an administrative assistant, could be any type of office
Oh, that's good.
for management and everything else.
That's
and
good.
The makeup classes, to be honest with you, I haven't. Again, I've been there maybe about a
Yeah.
week.
You know, I
So
don't
I'm
think
trying.
we're-
I'm trying to get my feet
I
wet.
think I
as
just want to
much as
give
possible.
Danilito the plug of the makeup classes, but I don't know if too many of my veterans are going to be going after that unless my female veterans come in, and that's a different story. But so all these are all these in place now, Nuncio, or
No,
is this something?
all of these looking ahead.
I'm sorry, looking
okay,
ahead. Sorry.
looking ahead. What
Okay.
we have in
so
place.
what's the time span do you think that before you get?
In
all-
the
all
next, I would say the next 2.5, 3 months.
Oh, nice! That's
Yeah,
right around the
yeah,
corner.
Yeah. But the things that we do have, again, is asbestos supervisor initial and refresher, asbestos worker initial and refresher, asbestos awareness, lead supervisor initial and refresher, lead worker initial and refresher, lead awareness, EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, renovation repair, paint, fall protection,
All important.
all of those things.
All important in the
and you
field.
know, because you're working in the field.
I'm telling you, I hold all my employees to a higher standard. If they don't come with these certifications, I'm okay. However, I teach you. I'll teach you. I'll give you the do's and don'ts. Do I prefer someone to come with these certifications? Absolutely. It's just going to make me that much of a stronger company.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have it, ask me. I still take individuals in, but it's very important to have it just to give you familiarize. And I'm sorry.
Well,
familiarize yourself with the job sites and the hazards of the jobs and what to do.
Protection from liability, because
Exactly.
you have a trained workforce.
Yeah, you want to keep your
Yeah.
insurance rating as low as possible, and that's why I say, like, a lot of people, you don't. I just to send someone with just 1 or 2 courses and then send them out to work. That's tough on the the employers because. Now you have to take
You have to
individuals
watch
that don't
over
have
them.
it. Yeah, and if you have a job that's $65 an hour, you don't have time to train. You just don't
And
have
you
time
expect
to
the
train.
person to
Yeah.
be a self-starter. You say, okay,
Exactly.
here's the job. This is what needs to be done. Go
get
ahead.
it done, and I'll be back to inspect on you. And that's that.
Exactly.
Before I leave, I know I don't have much time, but you just handed me this book, and I didn't know that you were an author, and I am so honored and pleased that you've given me this. I'm gonna have to take the time and get to know you a little better, I guess, right? But yeah, this when was this?
I did that about 4 months ago. I published
It's
4.
not your first one, though.
No, I published 4 in 4 different languages: in Sicilian, Italian, English, and Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of amazing stuff here. First of all, I didn't know that you were a weightlifter, champion weightlifter. I didn't know that. You just showed me some pictures here of you when you were in uniform. right? And
Yeah.
that was in Fort Dix.
Well,
was that
you
in
know what
front?
that was? That's me. You know, I
Was
have
it?
and I have a snake wrapped
That
around
was you
my,
right there.
Yeah, but that's a snake wrapped around my
With
in
the,
a sleeping bag
with the K-bar
Yeah,
in your mouth.
with a bayonet.
Was it a bayonet?
Like a bayonet. And the thing is that the Don snake was going to bite me. I thought it was, you know, when you have the buddy system in
Yeah.
what do you call it, the
The
tent.
bivouac?
Yeah.
Bivouac area? Yeah.
And so I said, come on, knock it off. I went like this, and it was a snake. So the thing is wrapped around my arm. I jump up, and I'm doing this, and I toss it in the air. And then I got it. Everybody
now, this
would
is
know.
another picture of you,
Yeah,
right?
that was in
That
the
what
target
year was that?
shooting, 1965.
And this was in
Fort
Fort
Dix.
Dix as
Yeah.
well, right?
Right.
That's amazing. And this was shooting your what? Your M4?
M14. at the time,
M14, sorry, not M4.
We didn't name the M16.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I started with the M1s, but then we went to M14.
To the M14s,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's all naked eye.
Oh,
Yeah, and if you were able to satellite and sight picture this weapon and get on target with this weapon, you're a pretty good marksman.
well, I was an expert.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
pretty good marksman. Yeah, Lucio, I wish we had more time, man. We could go through
Well,
this cyber,
listen,
but
we
I know
can-
that we could redo this again and follow up on the next chapter of this, and I'm going to read it. Yeah.
I'll tell you the outcomes. Okay, the outcomes need to be. Why not 100%? Let's get these trainees and let's get them on jobs.
Yeah, I think that it starts with just collective minds, good minds, having get together, having
Working
meetings of
together.
minds, and throw out there your ideas. You know what I mean? Because I'm a true believer that 4 or 5 heads are better than one.
Yeah,
So-
I totally agree. And I saw part sampling that in your office the other day.
You did.
You know,
You did. and
I
we
was
tried.
so proud of you.
Thank
you have no
very
idea.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, so thank you all for watching. Again, Mr. Nucio DeMarca, thank you for joining us. Thank you for
having us.
gracing us with your presence here today, and I hope it's not the last time. And one thing that I always say before I leave is go out there and try to make a difference in someone's life today. Thank you. We'll see you again.